What's up, outsiders? Are you tired of carrying your canoe or kayak on a Portage? In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this collapsible cart out of PVC. For this project, I got all of my parts at Lowe's or Harbor Freight. And when you go to Harbor Freight, don't forget the 20% coupon. You can usually get that online. I'm going to go through the parts. I'll also post a list in the description below. So you're going to need 2 5/8 inch nuts, 4 5/8 inch washers, 2 5/8 inch hitch pins, but I'd buy 4 so you have a couple spares in the field. I know I'm going to lose a couple. Then you're going to need 2 2-inch lock pins. I picked up these 10-inch tires from Harbor Freight. They're big and pneumatic. The reason I got these is I wanted them to be for off-roads. Some of the Portages have rocks and roots, and I wanted some beefy tires to be able to bounce over the top of there. There's other types of tires. You can take your choice. Just make sure you take a look at the axle size. It might not be 5/8. So for the axle, I used a 5/8 by 3 foot threaded rod. You could use an aluminum rod, but I had a hard time finding that 5/8 inch aluminum rod. And honestly, the threaded rod worked out really well because I was able to put the nuts on to hold it in place. Of course, you need PVC. I used 1 inch and got an 8-foot length. I had a bunch extra, but I'll use it for other projects. You'll need a pull noodle to protect the kayak, and you're going to need a cam strap to secure your kayak to the cart. They're also called lashing straps at Harbor Freight. You could probably use the ratcheting kind too, but I like just the crimped down kind. Those are all the parts that you need. Here's the diagram of all of the cuts you need to make for PVC. You can grab a screenshot now, or I will also link to the picture in the description. Okay, putting it together is pretty simple. Get out of here. Get out of here. Go, go, go. Usually what I do is I always have the threaded rod connected. You don't need to take this out when you're portaging. On this end, I would have drilled the 5/8 hole on both ends of this after I glued it in. And then you're gonna just slide your 5/8 rod all the way through. And you're gonna use one of the nuts for the length here, and I'm going to show you where I actually drilled for the hinge pins, and then just feed this nut on the other side. Okay, when you have both of those nuts in there, then you're going to take one of the washers, then you take your tire, put another washer, and this is where you drill for your hinge pin. Now, I did not have a drill press, so it was a little bit more difficult, but you're able to do it. I just put it on a vise and slowly drilled my hole. If you have a drill press, it makes it a lot easier. Then you take your hinge pin and you just pop that into place. And then that's the same thing on the other side. Pop that hinge pin in and you're ready to go. So now you have your basic frame together. Then all you need to do is take your tees, and I'm going to show you a little tip that I found because I wasn't able to drill these exactly perfect. So there is a right and a left side. So what I ended up doing was putting 2 lines on this side and 1 line on the other. So I know that this one lines up here. Just pop that in, get that into place. Then you take one of your linch pins, pop that in. Then on the other side, I have this single line. We're gonna just slide that in again. The reason I have the linch pins in the first place is it prevents these from twisting. Okay, so once you have both linch pins in, I'd already have my pool noodles on there. And this is kind of optional, but it comes in super handy. When I show you how to load up the kayak, you'll see why this is such a cool feature to have this handle that you can just pop in and then pop out. Okay, so that's the assembled cart. I'm going to show you how to load it on a kayak next. Loading your kayak onto the cart is pretty simple. You grab the handle, now you see what that's for. Just pick up one end of your kayak and get the cart in the middle towards the back. Then you take your strap, secure that down, and now that that's secure, pick up the other end and you can push it or you can pull it. And the great thing about this is you never have to unload the gear in your kayak on a Portage. You can just take the cart out, assemble it, and you'll be on your way. And that's why I like the little bit larger tires. Not all Portages are nice and smooth roads. This will actually go over pretty gnarly terrain. I was pretty happy with its performance. Okay, so now that we've loaded it on the kayak, let's break it down to put it inside the kayak. So all I do is I take the handle off, take your linch pins out, pull this out, and then I always put the linch pin right back in here. You could also put it on the tee, but my preference is to have it all in the frame. Pull the linch pin out, get that tee out, replace the linch pin. Okay, and then for your tires, all you're gonna do is pull out your hinge pin, pull off your washer, take your tire apart, put that washer back on, put your hinge pin back in, do the same for the other side. And we're broken down. So this is how I would actually load it into my kayak. The tires fit very nicely all the way up in the hull. It saves a lot of time, a lot of effort. It works awesome for portaging kayaks or canoes. Leave all your gear in and you're just on your way, provided the terrain is, somewhat, okay for tires like this. I hope this video saves you a ton of back-breaking work portaging your canoe or kayak. If you like this video, be sure to click that like button. If you want to see other outdoor adventures, other gear how-tos, be sure to subscribe to my channel. That's it for now. I'll see you guys outside.